Hey, all, Brad here with another quick video. On the bench today, I've got a Early Defender rectangular soundboard. They use these on pinball. I think there was System 1, System 3, and they used them in the Early Defenders as well. It's pretty much the same circuitry as the later square ones, but these ones are probably less common out there. We see more of the other ones for the System 6, 7. So the complaint on this one, the customer had posted on KLOV Clav that they were having some hum or some feedback noise. A lot of people suggested trying different things. I suggested make sure it's not the ballast and things I've seen before. They were kind of running a dead end, so I said, well, send it over and I'll just go through and rebuild it and make sure I can, verify that it was doing it, reproduce the issue on my bench. So they sent it over. I wasn't able to reproduce it initially on the bench. Touching some of the spots where the amplifier picks up, you could get it to make some noise, but no smoking gun per se. So I went through on the board here. We changed all the Molex headers. One of them was new with square pins, but I did change it just so they're all the same model if you were in the same series. So we've got 4 new Molex headers with the square pins. We did put in a new bridge rectifier, which I typically do. Pulled the fuses, cleaned those, squeezed the little friction contacts so they're extra tight. And then we've got electrolytic here, this large 6800 microfarad 16 volt is new. These 3 in the audio circuit are all new. I did put a new heat sink on. 2 of the legs that hold it were broken. I've got a ton of these. So I put a new heat sink and an amplifier in it, new mounting hardware on that. I did pull the 6802 CPU, the ROM, and somebody had socketed the PIA at some point in the past. So I pulled that, cleaned the legs, straightened everything up, and put it back in. And then on my bench here, I've got this little Arduino I had built back a while ago, and I put a 74LS244 on here. Basically, what that allows me to do is to drive the input on the soundboard like it would be coming from the ROM board. So I basically build in the 244 the output that I want on the 6 bits, and then I shift them all simultaneously. Otherwise, when you go through the program sequentially and turning each one on, you could end up with random stuff. So, and what I did in this program is I just programmed a loop where it goes through every bit combination here. So we make sure we're exercising each bit, not necessarily every sound, but we make sure that all the bits are working. So here's all the old parts. And then I do have a speaker set up on the bench here. Lately, when I've been doing these videos, I've been capturing the sound, digitally here. But for this one, I think we're just going to go through. So I've got power coming into the board. We've got speaker out. Got a little volume pot, 5K, very, pretty much the same thing that you would have with an external. And then these are the bits that I'm driving. So basically, when I power this thing on, and I do have on my bench here a little remote control, and I'm running an original linear power supply and everything. So when I power this up, it's going to power the board and this little Arduino controller, and it's just going to start driving the audio. And then I'll go through and do the diagnostic button, and then I'll also just power this guy off so you can hear there's 0 hum when it's just sitting idle. So go ahead and let me power it up here. I'll turn it up a little bit. So it'll just loop indefinitely. Let me power off it. And again, what I do when I'm testing these after I do a repair or rebuild a soundboard, typically I'll put this on the bench, and then in lieu of a speaker, I'll put a high watt 4 or 8 ohm resistor, and I'll just let it loop like that overnight, driving the load of the, simulating the speaker, but I don't have to hear it. It kind of just make sure everything is exercised and that, any potential issues crop up on my bench and not when the customer gets it back. So let me power it up again here. I'll unplug this. You heard it loop, so I'll just take the power out of that, and then I'll power this board up. We'll do the little diagnostic switch here. I'll shut it off, and then I'll just turn power back on. That's power on. So the board is powered. The amplifier is active. Any signal coming in, I could probably, you can hear if I touch the pin 1, the amplifier input, on that TDA 2002. But it's dead silent. So 0 hum, rock solid. It ran basically running under a load like that for 20 hours or something since last night. And so it's all set. I'm going to get it boxed up and come back to the customer. Thanks for watching.